Hello students, in our last class we were discussing about the conditions of solubility for the pair of linear equation and we have solved some problems based on that. So let us further start with the same topic and solve some more problem based on condition of solubility. So one question which I have given to you in my last video, that was 2x plus 3y is equal to 7, and the second equation was p plus q into x plus 2p minus q into y is equal to 21. This was the question which I have given you in my last video. So many of you have solved this problem, but I am going to discuss this problem again. And in this question you have to find the value of p and q if the given system has infinite solution. Find p and q if equations has infinite solution. So the condition was infinite solution. So let us start with the question. How we solve this type of problem? First we find the value of a1, b1 and c1, a2, b2 and c2, and then we further proceed. So from the first equation, the value of a1 is equal to 2, b1 is equal to 3, and c1 will be equal to minus 7. We will take this 7 to the left hand side to make the equation in general form. So we got the values of a1, b1 and c1. Similarly, from equation 2, the value of a2 will be equal to p plus q. a2 is the term with x. So the term with x is p plus q. It means a2 is equal to p plus q. Similarly, b2 will be equal to 2p minus q, and c2 is equal to minus 21. Okay, so we got all the values a1, a2, b1, b2 and c1, c2. Now we have given that the equation has infinite solution. So we know that for infinite solution, what is the condition? Condition is a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2. This is the condition for infinite solution. So now let us put these values. So we will get 2 upon p plus q is equal to 3 upon 2p minus q is equal to c1 is minus 7 upon minus 21. Now this minus will cancel out. 7 3s are 21. That means it will be 1 upon 3. It can be written as 1 by 3. Okay. Now we have to find the. Now in this question there are two variables. In all the question which we have solved till now, there was only one variable which we have to solve. One unknown values was there which we have to find. But now in this question, there are two values which are unknown. And we have to find these two values. So now, first, if I compare second and third term, then there will be an equation. If we multiply these two terms by cross multiplication, we will get 2p minus q into 1. That will be equal to 2p minus q, and 3 into 3 will be equal to 9. It means 2p minus q is equal to 9. So we got one equation. Let us consider it equation number 1. So 2p minus q is equal to 9 by solving these two terms, this and this term. Similarly, we can find one more equation by comparing first and last equation, by equating first and last term. So when we will multiply these two terms, so p plus q into 1, it will be equal to p plus q into 1, that will be p plus q, and 3 into 2 will be equal to 6. So we get another equation number 2. Okay, because there are two unknowns, so there should be two equations so that we can get the values of those two unknowns. So the first equation is 2p minus q equals to 9, and second equation we got p plus q is equal to 6. Now these are another two equations in two variables. These are linear equations in two variables. and we have already studied how to solve the linear equation, pair of linear equation in two variable. So if we can solve these two equations, then we will get the values of P and Q. Now look at the equation. In the first equation, the coefficient of P is 2 and the coefficient of Q is -1. We can take it as -1. Similarly, in second equation, coefficient of P is 1 and coefficient of Q is also 1. And we have studied the method of equating the coefficient to solve the pair of linear equation. So in these two equations, the coefficients of Q are already equal. In the first equation, coefficient of Q is -1. In second equation, coefficient of Q is +1. It means the coefficients are already equated. Now we can add these two equations. If we will add these two equations, then this -1Q and +1Q will be cancelled out. 2P plus 1P will be equal to 3P, and it will be equal to 9 plus 6, it means 15. It means the value of P will be equal to 5. So we get the value of P, that is equal to 5. Now we can put the value of P in either of the equation. So if we put P in equation 1, then we will get 2 into P. It is 2P, so it will be 2 into 5 minus Q is equal to 9. 10 minus Q is equal to 9, or the value of Q will be equal to 1. So we get the values of P and Q. P is equal to 5 and Q is equal to 1. These are our answers. Okay. So in our previous questions, there was only one unknown, but now here are two unknowns, P and Q. So whenever there will be two unknowns in the condition of solvability, then there will be two more equations in terms of those two unknown, and we have to solve those two equations to get the values of the unknowns, like this way. Okay, so copy it. Now let us solve one more question based on condition of solvability. Now the question is, the first equation is 2x plus 3y is equal to 7. Again the same equation, 2x plus 3y equal to 7. And the second equation is 2 alpha x plus alpha plus beta into y is equal to 28. Okay, now these are the two equations, 2x plus 3y equal to 7, 2 alpha x plus alpha plus beta into y is equal to 28. Now we have to find the values of alpha and beta if the equations have infinite solution. Find alpha and beta if equations have infinite solution. Okay, so again the same question. The given equations have infinite solution and we have to find the values of two unknowns alpha and beta. So let us proceed with the same method. First we will find the coefficients of x, that is a1 will be equal to 2, b1 is equal to 3 and c1 will be equal to -7. a1 equal to 2, b1 equal to 3 and c1 equal to -7. Similarly a2 will be equal to, what will be the value of a2? The term with x. So the term with x is 2 alpha. That means a2 is equal to 2 alpha. b2 will be equal to alpha plus beta and c2 will be equal to -28. Okay. So first we have to find the values of a1, b1, c1 and a2, b2, c2. Okay. Now we have given the condition is that these equations have infinite solution. So we know that for infinite solution, for infinite solution, what is the condition? A1 upon A2 is equal to B1 upon B2 is equal to C1 upon C2. So putting these values, what we will get? It will be 2 upon 2 alpha is equal to 3 upon alpha plus beta is equal to minus 7 upon minus 28. Now again this minus sign will be cancelled out. What we will get? 7 ones are 7, 7 fours are 28. It means it will be equal to 1 by 4. Okay. So again equating second and last term and equating first and last term. So if we equate first term with the last term, then we will get 2 upon 2 alpha is equal to 1 upon 4. Now this 2 and 2 will be cancelled out. So here we will get the value of alpha is equal to 4. Cross multiply it. So alpha will be equal to 4. Okay. Again putting second term and third term equal. So we will get 3 upon alpha plus beta is equal to 1 upon 4. So cross multiplying it, we will get alpha plus beta is equal to 12. And the value of alpha we have already found out. So put the value of alpha here, we will get 4 plus beta is equal to 12. Or beta will be equal to 12 minus 4, that will be equal to 8. So the answer is alpha equal to 4 and beta equals to 8. Okay. So in this way we can find the values of unknown whenever the conditions are given for the pair of linear equation. Note it down. Now let us solve one more question. Now the question is, three k plus 1 into x plus 3y minus 2 is equal to 0. And the second equation is k square plus 1 into x plus k minus 2 into y minus 5 is equal to 0. Okay, now these are the two equations. 3k plus 1 into x plus 3y minus 2 equal to 0. K square plus 1 into x, k minus 2 into y minus 5 equal to 0. Now we have to find the value of k so that the equation have no solution. Find k so that these equations have no solution. Now the condition is given that the equations have no solution. Okay. So again start from the same point. First we will find the values of a1, b1 and c1. So what is the value of a1 here? a1 is equal to 3k plus 1. b1 will be equal to 3 and c1 will be equal to minus 2. The coefficient of x in first equation is a1, coefficient of y in first equation is b1 and the constant term in the first equation is c1. Similarly, what is the value of a2? The coefficient of x in the second equation is a2, so its value is k square plus 1. Similarly, what is the value of b2? it is the coefficient of y, and which is k minus 2. So the coefficient of y is b2, that is k minus 2, and the constant term of second equation is minus 5. C2 is equal to minus 5. Okay, so we got the values of A1, B1, C1 and A2, B2, C2. Now we are given the condition that these equations have no solution, and you should remember the condition of no solution. So for no solution, what is the condition? A1 upon A2 is equal to B1 upon B2 is not equal to C1 upon C2. Means the ratio of A1 upon A2 is equal to B1 upon B2, but it is not equal to C1 upon C2. So putting these values, what we will get? 3k plus 1 upon k square plus 1 is equal to B1 upon B2. So it will be 3 upon k minus 2. It should not be equal to minus 2 upon minus 5. So this minus sign will be cancelled out. Now first solving these two terms, first and second term. So when we will cross multiply these terms, we will get 3k plus 1 into k minus 2 is equal to 3k square plus 3. This 3 will be multiplied with it. It will be 3k square plus 3. Now multiplying again these two brackets. So we will get 3k square minus 6k plus k minus 2. 3k square minus 6k plus k and minus 2 is equal to 3k square plus 3. Now this 3k square will cancelled out. So now from here it will be minus 6k plus k. It will be minus 5k will be equal to, taking minus 2 to the right hand side, it will be plus 2. So its value will be 3 plus 2 equal to 5. Or we can say that k will be equal to minus 1. So we get the value of k which is equal to minus 1. Okay, so in this way we can solve these problems whenever we are given the unknown. Copy it. Now we have given another question. Lambda into x plus y is equal to lambda square. This is the first equation. I am writing the equation in middle. Lambda x plus y is equal to lambda square. And the second equation is x plus lambda y is equal to 1. Now these are the two equations. Lambda x plus y equals to lambda square and x plus lambda y is equal to 1. Now we have to find the value of lambda. Find lambda if equation have. Now we have to solve all the three cases. Find the value of lambda if equation have. First part is unique solution. Second part is infinite solution. And third part is no solution. We have to find the value of lambda for all the three conditions. Means if these equation have unique solution, then what will be the value of lambda? If these equation have infinite solution, then what will be the value of lambda? And if these equation have no solution, then what will be the value of lambda? So let us start. We will solve the question in the same way. First we will find the value of a1. So what is the value of a1? a1 is the coefficient of x, that will be lambda. What will be the value of b1? b1 is coefficient of y, and here the coefficient of y is 1, so we can take b1 is equal to 1. And what will be the value of c1? Taking lambda square to the left hand side, it will be minus lambda square. Okay, similarly we can find the value of a2. So what is the value of a2? The coefficient of x, it is 1. Value of b2 is equal to lambda, and value of c2 is equal to minus 1. So first we have find the values of a1, b1, c1 and a2, b2, c2. Now coming to the question, first part. Find the value of lambda if the equation have unique solution. So we know for unique solution, what is the condition? For unique solution, the condition is a1 upon a2 should not equal to b1 upon b2. It is the condition for unique solution. So putting the value for unique solution, we will get lambda upon 1 should not equal to 1 upon lambda. By cross multiplying, we will get lambda square should not equal to 1. And when we will take the square root, so we will get lambda should not equal to plus minus 1. We already know whenever we take the square root, then both the signs are there, plus and minus. So the lambda should not equal to plus minus 1. It is the condition for unique solution. Okay. Now, it is not the final answer. First we have to check all the three conditions. Then we will come to the answer. So the second condition is infinite solution. So for infinite solution, the condition is a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2. So put the value, we will get lambda upon 1 is equal to 1 upon lambda is equal to minus lambda square upon minus 1. Now this minus sign will cancel out. So if we solve this question also, solving these two terms, we will get lambda square is equal to 1, or the lambda should be equal to plus minus 1. Okay. Now for the third condition, if we solve first and last part also, then there will be one more condition. What will be that? Solving first and last part, we will get lambda square into 1. That will be lambda square. Lambda into 1, it will be equal to lambda. Or we can write it as lambda square minus lambda equals to 0. Taking lambda as common, it will be lambda minus 1 equal to 0. So the values of lambda will be lambda equal to 0 and lambda is equal to 1. It means for infinite solution, we got 4 values of lambda. 0, 1, 1 means plus 1 and minus 1. That are 3 values. 0, plus 1 and minus 1. These 3 values are for the infinite solution. Okay. Now if we talk about third condition, that is no solution. For no solution, what is the condition? a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 should not equal to c1 upon c2. Now if we solve the third condition also, so we will get lambda upon 1 is equal to 1 upon lambda should not equal to minus lambda square upon minus 1. Again this minus sign will be cancelled out. So we will get the value of, if we solve these two terms, we will get lambda square is equal to 1 or lambda is equal to plus minus 1. Okay. And if we solve these two terms, the second and third term, then what we will get? Lambda into lambda square will be lambda cube, should not equal to 1. And if we take 1 to this side, it will be lambda cube minus 1 should not equal to 0. And from this condition, if we apply the formula of a cube minus b cube, that is a minus b, a square plus ab plus b square, from solving that we will get lambda minus 1 should not equal to 0 or lambda should not equal to 1. Okay, solving this term, I am solving it here so that you may be able to understand it. I am equating the term 1 upon lambda not equal to lambda square upon 1. So we will be getting lambda cube should not equal to lambda, should not be equal to 1, or we can write it as lambda cube minus 1 should not be equal to 0. And if we solve it further, so we will get lambda should not equal to 1. This is a condition for no solution. Now coming to the answer. The first question was, we have to find the value of lambda for unique solution. So for unique solution, the value of lambda should not equal to plus minus 1. It is the right answer. It will be our answer. It means we can take any value of lambda. Lambda can be any number, but it cannot be equal to plus minus 1. It is for unique solution. When we talk about infinite solution, then there is a contradiction. There are three values: lambda equal to plus 1, lambda equal to minus 1, lambda equal to 0, and lambda equal to 1. So I already told you, whenever we solve for the infinite solution, then there are certain values which are common. So the common value of lambda is, here lambda equal to 1, and in this case also lambda is plus 1 and minus 1. So what will be the answer? The answer for infinite solution will be lambda equal to 1 only. We will not take lambda equal to 0 and lambda equal to minus 1, because the common among these two is lambda equal to plus 1. Okay. Similarly, for no solution, here we are getting the first condition, lambda is equal to plus minus 1. But from the second condition, we are getting that lambda should not equal to 1. Lambda should not equal to plus 1. And from this condition, we are getting lambda is equal to plus minus 1. It means lambda, if lambda cannot be equal to plus 1, then lambda should be equal to minus 1. It means the answer for no solution. So what will be the answer for no solution? For no solution, lambda should not equal to 1 and lambda is equal to plus minus 1. It means plus 1 we cannot take. So lambda will take the value minus 1. So for lambda equal to minus 1, there will be no solution. For lambda should not equal to plus minus 1, there will be a unique solution. And for lambda is equal to plus 1, there will be infinite solution. Okay. So it is the most important question. Note it down. So in this way, we have solved many problems based on condition of solvability. Now you can solve the problems based on this condition. Okay, you have to take care of signs and you have to solve, you have to remember all these condition for unique solution, condition for infinite solution, and condition for no solution. If you will remember this condition, then you will be able to solve all the questions. Okay, so you have to solve much more problems on this topic from your reference book, from NCERT, wherever you found this type of question, you may solve. Okay, so from the next video, from the next class, we will be starting with the word problem based on linear equation. Okay, we have completed all the basics of linear equation. Now the remaining is word problem based on linear equation. So we are going to start with the word problem of linear equation. Okay, so first we will solve the word problem from NCERT class 10th. So you will sit with your NCERT book. We will solve each and every question from the word problem exercise of NCERT. So in the next video you will sit with your NCERT book so that you will solve the problem very easily. Okay, it will be difficult to write whole of the word problem on the board. So you will sit with the book of NCERT and we will start solving the word problem.